Hey guys, Rob from Outdoor Labs here. Today I want to talk to you guys about two survival knives. The Schrade SCHF9, which is this big guy right here, and then its newer, younger, smaller brother, the Schrade SCHF26. Today I want to show you 5 reasons why I think the Schrade SCHF26 is better all around as a survival knife than its older, larger brother, the Schrade SCHF9. So let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about is the size of the two knives. While at first glance it may look that the Schrade SCHF9 is quite a bit bigger than the Schrade SCHF26, looks can be a little bit deceiving. If we line them up like this, you can see that it is quite a bit larger. It's actually about 1.5 inches longer. However, let's break that down a little bit. If we look at the actual blade length of the two, because the Schrade SCHF9 has a choil on it and the SCHF26 doesn't, if we line up the actual cutting edge on the two, you can see that the blade itself is actually only about 1/2 inch shorter at max than the Schrade SCHF9. Another thing I like is the handle on the SCHF26. It's just a little bit shorter, but it feels much better in the hand because it's thinner. If we look at the SCHF9, it's got a really large palm swell, and a lot of people tend to complain if you don't have large hands that it doesn't really fit well in your hand. Whereas I found the SCHF26 to be actually one of the most comfortably ergonomic knives I've ever held. The second reason that I want to talk about is the steel. The Schrade SCHF9 is made of 1095 high carbon steel, which is a great survival steel all around. However, it will corrode and rust. I personally believe that a true survival knife should be made out of a stainless steel, so it can be used in any environment without worry of corrosion or rust. Schrade's newer SCHF26 is made of 8CR13 MOV steel, which is a Chinese steel, but it's a really good Chinese steel. Don't let it put you off that it is from China. The knife itself is super strong, holds a great edge, and won't corrode or rust in any environment. As far as the thickness of the two blades, they're exactly the same, both 1/4 inch thick, if you can see. The third reason why I prefer the SCHF26 to the SCHF9 is the blade profile of the two knives. The SCHF9 has a saber grind on it, which basically means after it's flat and where the grind starts, it's just a straight V all the way to the blade. While this does make the blade nice and rigid, it is a little tougher to do the finer tasks like cutting and chopping and slicing. Whereas the SCHF26 is hollow ground, which means flat until here, and then there's a little concave which you might be able to see in the light. So instead of a straight V, it kind of curves inward to make like a little, almost like a tent style grind on the blade. What that's nice for is all your slicing tasks. This thing will cut through meat, small things, just like no problem. Whereas this will have a little bit harder time doing it. And as far as batoning and things like that, since they're both 1/4 inch thick, they're both not going to have a problem with that. So this you kind of get the best of both worlds. This one, you only get the best of one world. The fourth thing I want to compare on the two knives, and probably the most controversial, is actually not the knife itself. It's the sheaths on the two. So let's move the knives away real fast, and I'll show you the sheaths on both. This is the sheath on the Schrade SCHF26, and this is the sheath on the Schrade SCHF9. So let's talk a little bit about both of them. A lot of people that I read and watch reviews on tend to prefer the sheath on the Schrade SCHF9 better. personally, I like this sheath more, and here's why. The first thing that's wrong about the Schrade SCHF9 sheath is it's very flimsy. It's made of a smaller Denmer nylon than the SCHF26's sheath, which makes this more rigid and strong. You can definitely feel that this sheath is made better and isn't going to tear or rip on you as this one could. The other thing I don't like about the SCH9 sheath is this retention snap. Now, I like snaps, and this is a snap versus this being Velcro, which I will give to this. However, it's too low in the hilt of the sheath. If you put the knife in like this and snap it in, the problem you're going to have when you hang it on your belt up here is it's going to keep wanting to fall down. If you look at most good sheaths, they'll usually have two retention straps, one here and one here. This one only has the one here. Now Schrade got it right with the SCHF26 sheath. They only made one retention strap, but it was up high. So when the knife's in the sheath like this, and it's retained, when it's on your belt, it's going to hold fast, and you don't have to worry about it coming off your leg and running into you, or potentially falling out and hurting you. Another thing I don't like about the SCHF9 is this little external pouch. Now, while I do like an external pouch, it has a little clip that you have to undo, and then it has this weird Velcro. I don't know if you can see it in here, but there's a Velcro on top of this elastic band, which is really hard to open. And I don't see why you need two types of retention for this kind of thing. One would do fine. Just like on this one, a simple Velcro opener, and there you go. You got access to your sharpener, fire steel, whatever you want to put in there. Another common complaint I hear about the Schrade SCHF26 is that the sheath doesn't have MOLLE webbing on the back. Now that's true, but what bothers me is that people think that this is MOLLE webbing on the back of the SCHF9. It kind of looks like MOLLE webbing, but it's really not. When I tried to hook it up to my MOLLE pack, it hung off and was real flimsy. I suppose it would work in a pinch, but true MOLLE should be from the top of the sheath all the way to the bottom. This is kind of just a lame, crappy substitute, and it's all Velcro down here too, so it just comes off really easy. I also think that your knife should be on your belt anyway, and not hooked up to an external MOLLE pack. The fifth and final reason why I think the SCHF26 is better than the SCHF9 is the overall fit and finish of the knife. Let's take a look at the two knives again. This might be a little bit of a stretch of a reason, and maybe I'm a little bit OCD, but I think the Schrade SCHF26 has a much nicer fit and finish than the SCHF9. What I mean by that is, if you look close up at the details on the handle where it meets the metal, it's very smooth. There's no gaps. You can see that on the underside of the knife too. And if you look at the Schrade SCHF9, there's a lot of uneven points in here. See if you can see that or not. See here, the metal overhangs the handles, and here the handle overhangs the metal. Same thing on the back side. It just doesn't have a good finish like the SCHF26. It seems like they improve their milling, or whatever they do, to match the handles up with the knife a lot better on the newer model. Also, and this is kind of a big deal, the Schrade SCHF26 came, at least for me, way sharper out of the box than the SCHF9. Now I've had some sharp knives before, come from the factory. Probably my Mora, I think, would probably be the sharpest one that came. This is as sharp, if not sharper, than my Mora, right from the factory. This thing is dangerously scary sharp, right from the factory. I didn't touch this thing, and this thing will shave hairs off your arm like nobody's business. The SCHF9 I can't say the same thing for. It came a little bit dull and definitely needed some work. So that's one thing that really I liked a lot more about the SCHF26. In conclusion, while the Schrade SCHF9 is really a great knife, and especially for around $45–50, it's a superb knife, The newer Schrade SCHF26, I believe, dethrones the old king of budget survival knives. Schrade really did their homework when they improved upon the knife design, and what you're left with is, in my opinion, an awesome survival knife. And it's even cheaper too. I picked this one on Amazon for about 40 bucks. If you want to pick up the Schrade SCHF9 or its new and improved version, which I would recommend, the SCHF26, I've included links for both knives in the description below. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Again, this is Rob with Outdoor Labs. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.